Hi, this clip is going to take you through from start to finish how to achieve the perfect domed cupcake. This is one of the questions we get asked most frequently at Karina's Cupcakes, and this is one of the easiest methods you'll be able to achieve every single time a beautifully domed cupcake. So let's get started. I have some pink simple sugar paste here that I've coloured using the Rainbow Dust Pro Gels, and a vanilla cupcake. I'm going to need some buttercream, and the buttercream should be quite firmer than if you were going to pipe with it. The quantities that I've used for this buttercream are 500 grams of icing sugar, 120 grams of softened butter, and 15 millilitres of whole milk with around about half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I've put about a spoonful of buttercream onto the top of this cupcake, and you can see that I've left a well all the way around the edge. I haven't smoothed it or used a palette knife on it or even been particularly careful. I've just made sure that the gap is equal all the way around the edge of the buttercream. I'm going to make sure my fondant is properly warm. There shouldn't be any cracks or lines in this fondant, and you should be able to roll it without the edges cracking at all. A friction roll, which is what I'm doing here, is a really great way of ensuring your fondant is correctly warmed. As soon as the lengths come between my hands out of the ends, I fold it back on itself and I roll again. Lay it down on the top. We're just going to add in just a smear of corn flour and roll out. The cupcake cases that we use at Cupcake HQ are standard muffin size cupcakes. The cases have a 55mm base, and I use a 78mm disc cutter for my domes. Now you'll see that this looks too big, far too big when I put it over my cupcake, but we have to allow for the rise of the buttercream. I cut my disc, remove the excess, pick the disc up, and you can see that this is about 4mm thick. I lay it on. If you go too thinly, what's going to happen is that your fondant's going to sit inside that well that we created around the edge of the cake. Now, at this point, I'm using what we call the claw hand. And the claw hand comes down from the top, and we're just making sure that this disc sits evenly on top of the cupcake. I'm not touching the top, I'm just working around the edge. You can see from the side of this cake now, our disc is going at this angle. Now that angle is something we really want to look for, because we want to get the bottom edge of this disc to tuck inside the cake. And from the top, you shouldn't be able to see any of the case below it. So I work around holding the cake with these two fingers on the bottom. This also prevents me from pulling the side of the case away from the cake. And I use this part of my finger here to start to tuck it in. Just lifting and tucking as I come around, making sure that it's completely even. If you've put too much buttercream in your cupcake, you may need to just gently pat down on the top to give you a little bit of extra to work with. Do be careful not to pat down too much, or you will suffer the dreaded oozing cupcake. The oozing cupcake and the ring of hell cupcake are equally undesired. We come down, once you've got all of those edges tucked in, we're going to bring this top edge, the straight edge, down to form a seal. And I'm using this part of my fingers to bring that seal down. And I'm just pushing it gently into the top of the muffin case. And I'm just shaping and patting it down as I go. Once you are tucked in all the way round, we give our cupcake a cuddle. And the cuddle is what helps to keep its shape. So we just work around it and we're just making sure that the shape is perfect, the rise on the dome is equal and even. And that's it. There is our perfectly domed cupcake.